Welcome, everyone, to LRG Podcast, where we cover everything from live reality games in the States to Canada, Australia, all over the place. I'm here with a special introduction podcast for a brand new live reality game called HART. I am joined by, as you see on screen here, Casey, host of the Promethean Games. Casey, how are you today?
I'm doing well, a little tired. It's been kind of crazy up here, preparing for the game. There's a huge storm that kind of took out power for a little bit. So we were without power for like almost 24 hours, but storms are all clear and should be clear for the rest of the week. So hopefully smooth sailing for the game.
Yeah, I feel like you're doing Survivor, playing Survivor yourself with the storms up there. No power or anything like that.
Yeah,
Where
I
are
mean,
you located?
so we are located in the Poconos. Poconos is kind of a pretty big area here in Pennsylvania, northeastern Pennsylvania. More specifically, we are a little way from Wallenpaupack. If you have any office friends out there, by Scranton, Pennsylvania, I'm fairly certain the one episode they go to Lake Wallenpaupack. So we're in that area of the Poconos.
Very cool. So, here at Live Reality Games, we have a great community and everybody. So let's get to know you a little bit, Casey. Kind of what's your background on either live games, and I think you mentioned a little bit of online games, Casey. So what's your history in this?
So, my history in the org/LRG scene, I guess for some people is still pretty young in a sense. I got started on all of this during the pandemic, and by 2020, oof, man, time's just slipping away. 2021, I believe it was. I started my first org, Prometheus, which is Promethean Games. As you can see, all of our links are Prometheus.web series. I went to film school, and one of my concentrations was in editing, but I had done various other things when I was in film school, directing, sound work, cinematography, stuff like that. So anyway, I was just like, I really like these games. I want to be a part of one of these games, but I'm not a part of it as much as I would like to because I had helped on production for a couple games. So I was like, I'm just going to start my own game. And if I'm going to do this game and any other games, it's not worth it if there's not content. I want everyone who's playing to have something a little bit more than just the memories. So sometimes I can be slow with getting content out. It's going to be a much different thing for HART this week. But some of my other stuff, which is all org stuff, I can be a little bit slow on the content, but I can assure you that the content we put out there, it'll be worth the wait.
That's awesome. Super excited to hear that. So you said you kind of watched during the pandemic. Anything stick out in your mind, like best show that you've seen or anything like that?
In terms of LRGs you're talking about?
Yeah.
So initially, nothing for LRGs, except I had heard about, I want to say it was Michigan Survivor. I believe it's a college LRG or was a college
Yeah.
LRG. I think that was kind of the first time I heard that there were these things. And then I also heard a little bit about Survivor Philadelphia, which I am from outside of Philadelphia. So I was like, oh, whoa, like this is kind of cool. So even back then, when I was like getting into the scene and starting my first org, I was like, that's the goal. Like that's what I want to do at some point. But it hasn't really lined up until this year. There's just a couple things that sort of lined up for me, and I'm like, is this a sign? Is this finally the time to do it? And I was like, you know what? I'm going to shoot for it. So I kept myself really busy. I worked on production for a couple other LRGs. I've helped out with other orgs. I have my orgs, and now I have my own live game called HART.
Yay. So where did you come up with the name of HART?
So HART wasn't even the original name. I wish I had the original story, but what I will say is, and I can't give too much away about the game because even the players don't know this mystery game they're playing.
Ooh.
All of our games have like a light Greek mythology theme to it. And so with our game, our light theme deals with the goddess Artemis, goddess of the hunt, very closely symbols of bow and arrows, obviously a goddess of the hunt, and deer. Especially if anyone's familiar with the labors of Heracles. There's that story with Artemis and the deer. And so I was like, okay, kind of has like this triple meaning. We connected to a hart, which a hart is a male deer, specifically a stag. Heart, as in we're going to stylize the emotion heart. And then also it still has that connection to Artemis. So it's kind of got this like triple meaning. We also have like our little production shirts. Oops, everything's reversed here. So as you can see, heart, and then we have the woods and a heart of the deer, which their antlers also is kind of a heart too. So it's a cute little thing.
Yeah, like, beyond cute, actually. When I saw the logo when you sent it, I was like, "Oh, that's so cute," and I didn't realize, like, I'm a big, like, etymology person. I have a huge background in, like, animals, but a heart for a deer, that's something, like, I totally forgot. So, the layers and layers.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing. I try to have like little things like that, but yeah, that's kind of a part of the name, but it wasn't even the original name. I think honestly, this name came about probably like 6 months ago, maybe.
Mhm.
Like I had the basis for this game done like years ago, but like I said, it was my ultimate goal, but not something I thought was going to be feasible until this year.
Well, speaking of hearts, we got a few hearts in the comments already. Jabbar is giving us some love there.
Love
And
Jabbar.
then Andrew's got a little heart and a deer at the same time. So thanks, folks, for watching. If you have any questions here for Casey about the game, maybe something that you missed already in the interview, just pop them in the comments below and we can ask them right on air. Um, so you were talking about the concept of this game, Casey. I don't want to give away too much, of course, but is this Survivor related or is this kind of a brand new thing that you created?
So this is an original format, which I know sometimes can be very difficult for people to take a chance on original format, as well as a game that is in season 1 of their live stuff. So what we did was we took influences from Survivor, took influences from Big Brother, and took influences from our prior org games that we had, and sort of meshed them into one, but still maintaining hopefully what is its own unique identity, which is something I try to do for all of my games, even my prior orgs as well. Um, so yeah, I mean, I would say, we're in the woods. You can see that as Survivor-esque. The players will be in a house. They will have some sense of comfort. So you can see that as Big Brother. But then we also bring in things from our orgs, like our round modifiers. I'm happy to talk about that a little bit without going too far. So, for instance, in our orgs, we have round modifiers, just things to kind of keep the players on their toes. So in our one org Prometheus, which is more akin to like a season 1 of Survivor with no idols and advantages, because I'm not a fan of idols and advantages, if I'm being completely honest.
Neither am I. So
Yeah, I just, especially in a lot of modern Survivor stuff, it's too rampant. And Big Brother, it can get insane. But anyway, so our modifiers, like one of our modifiers from our org was the blackout modifier. Essentially, it removes all communication minus face-to-face like video content. And so that's what we've done. Like that was one of our modifiers. We had like an exposure modifier, which was like public voting. You expose yourself and who you're voting for, stuff like that. So that's something that you're going to see in our live game.
So what kind of cast are we looking at here? How many people do you have slated to play here pretty soon?
So we originally designed the game for 12 people. Obviously, there's always a lot of dropouts. So we overcast it, and we ended up with 11 people in total. So still a good amount. Which honestly, I'm more a fan, especially for live games. I like the smaller casts. I think there's a nice sense of community that can be built, especially when you allow the players to actually socialize, to really get their money's worth. They're like, and the players do know this, but there will not be any eliminations on the first day. We're
Hmm.
letting them, really get their time to get to know one another. So we're hoping that it kind of builds, upon that. But yeah, 11-person cast, kind of stretch some things out. Yeah, we do have some more jam-packed days, but yeah.
How excited are you? Like, I feel like the cast always like is the pull for me to either watch a game, to like participate in it. I want to see the cast go crazy. Are you excited?
Yeah, I'm really excited. I mean, I've been messaging a couple of the players, or actually I messaged all the players like, are you excited? Are you ready? Are you pumped? Are you ready to win it all? And us on production, we're all talking about it. And my emotions throughout the week have been just crazy. High anxiety one day, next day, totally fine. Just kind of doing what I got to do to prep for the game. And then other days, just like, holy crap, I'm so excited that I can't even really concentrate on what needs to be done. But yeah, with this cast too, the vast majority of the cast were the original cast that we had. Some of them were kind of they were alternates slash like one was like a very last minute replacement. But I'm really excited about the cast. I think we have a diverse enough cast in a couple different ways that I think we could see very interesting gameplay, potentially very chaotic, especially coming from a couple of the players that we had casted. But ultimately, even despite some game drama, I hope we can build a really positive atmosphere. Really hoping that we've avoided all toxicity.
Mhm. Good luck on that for sure. What I really like about brand new concept games like your own Heart is that we can see players that have done the survivor thing, may have gone and played a Big Brother, but now you throw them into a different scenario and you really keep them on their toes.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And it's funny, one of the other players that we had casted said that specific thing, so it would be kind of like a challenge for them. And we talk about that a little bit in the preseason podcast that we have because we do kind of analyze all the players. But yeah, I mean, that's the thing. It does keep people, on their toes and hopefully wanting to try and overcome these obstacles instead of sort of mastering one set game.
Mhm. Well, speaking of obstacles, what do you folks have lined up for challenges? Are we like big physical challenges, more mental challenges? Kind of what's the structure there? If there is a structure of challenges, I don't even know because I don't know the game.
So yeah, the challenges itself, there's at least I'll say one challenge per round, sometimes two. Um, but we had a special person who was in charge of all the challenges, making them fit within the theme and the story that we've created for the game. That is JJ Clutch. If anyone's familiar with JJ from the org scene, I know he's very popular for a moment and has won like 50% of all the orgs he's played. But yeah, he's very much actually more about the challenges. So we played a game at the beginning of this year, and he designed all of them. I feel like the design that JJ has created, there's nice diversity in the games. We have some memory, we have some puzzle, we have some endurance, we have some straight up physical challenges. So it's kind of like a nice diversity and a lot of also relay style challenges at that. So multiple stages that hopefully will give multiple people an opportunity. If maybe they're not as good in one, they can excel in the other, and those can kind of balance each other out to win them the immunity or put them in a top tier placement.
Now it sounds like JJ is on your challenge duty, setup and production. Shout out to all the other players. Who do you have for your production team? I guess what do you have?
So our production team currently consists of 7 of us. We might have 2 additional people that will be joining us throughout the week to help out with like video stuff. So there is obviously myself, who's the host. We have JJ, who's in charge of challenges. We have Michael. Michael has also played orgs. He has been my right-hand person for some of my other prior orgs. He's always been on my like senior production team and in production chat. So Mike will be joining us. I have Mike and Lori, who've also been a big part of the org scene for my games as well. Always very passionate, and they'll be helping out with various things. Mike especially will be doing a lot of like the cooking for the meals and shuttles, and the shuttles are going to be like pretty long trips from the 30th Street Station and the Philadelphia airport. So he's a trooper for doing that and getting up early to do that. We also have Jocelyn. Jocelyn is very new to the org scene and even some of these reality competitions in general. She took a chance on our 2nd season of Prometheus, which is out in full if you would like to watch it on our YouTube page. And ever since then, she has been an amazing supporter of all of our stuff. So I'm very happy that Jocelyn is there. And our final member is Eric, who is more in tune with the LRG scene than the ORG stuff. You can have seen Eric play on Survivor Pennsylvania Gettysburg. He has made it pretty far in that. He's recently come off a couple. He's helped on other productions for LRG, so he will be helping tremendously on the video side, which is absolutely fantastic. So very happy to have Eric a part of our team as well.
It always takes a village, that's for sure.
Yeah.
So we mentioned we're gonna, do videos and stuff like that. Casey, is there anything we get to watch live, or what are you gonna give us to tempt us this week?
So we will be having content that comes out through the week. We're gonna call it kind of live streaming. But there's going to be multiple angles, so it's going to be delayed. Sorry for a second. Can you hold on for a second? Please hold on for a second. But anyway,
we got a mystery right here. Something's going to happen.
No, it's not that crazy. But I apologize. I don't even remember what I was saying.
Now, we were talking about live streaming, or what it's going to be released on the Facebook or YouTube.
It's going to be released on our YouTube channel, but we will be posting links on our Facebook channel for people that might not be as savvy in terms of the content. So yeah, we'll be uploading everything onto YouTube. Couple extra things that will be strictly Facebook, like maybe like a boot post. But yeah, all content will be semi live streamed, but also edited content. It's not going to be as perfect as some of our other content that's been a little bit more polished, but it's going to be, we'll have these footage dumps and then we'll do quick edits to get them up, as opposed to having like 30 live streams throughout the day, hours worth of content. We're going to try and boil it down to sort of the bare essentials. It's an ambitious task. Whether or not it works or fails, we'll find out this week, but there will be content to follow for this week for sure.
And it is the first season. Like, you live, you learn, and then you move on to season 2, right?
Absolutely.
So Casey, thanks for joining here tonight. Anybody in the comments before we go, if you have any questions for the show, like I said, you can follow along on your YouTube channel, on your Facebook that I just showed on the ticker below. Little bit about you now, Casey, just to get to know you a little bit better, since this game is kind of delves into the world of Survivor. I'm assuming you've watched most of the shows.
Absolutely. I've seen every season of Survivor, literally been watching it since I was 7 years old.
Well, then we typically ask the question, who is your favorite winner from Survivor?
Oh, favorite winner. That's really difficult.
We started the podcast right when Winners at War was going on, so I was like, oh, this is a great question, so we just kept it up since then.
So okay, so my favorite winner, I don't know if I would necessarily equate favorite to best winner, but my favorite winner has to be between Sandra, or for some people it might be a hot take, but Tony. And part of that reason is, and I'm not talking about season 1 for Tony, his 3rd season, Winners at War. And the reason why is because I'm very much about story. I like story. And I think there is a story to Tony's game between 3 seasons. He played this crazy, chaotic game, relying on someone to kind of handle the social side, to trying to play the same game and it failing, to then coming in and playing a totally different game, a game that I would see as evolved. It's a nice story. And that's the way I like to look at it. So I think for Tony, that's it. Sandra, especially in Heroes versus Villains, for the craziness that was that season and a fantastic, essentially all-star season, Sandra's game is amazing. And it's still insane the amount of people that are baffled by her win. But she kind of played in a lot of ways the same game twice, but better in the 2nd season. So they'd probably be my 2 favorite for 2 different reasons.
So for folks tuning in, we're just talking with Casey, host of HART, an upcoming live reality game. Casey, why should we check out HART?
You should check out HART because I hope that what I am setting out to achieve in terms of content, especially, but also game, is something that is hopefully a little bit more unique. I have already a number of undertakings for my org stuff. So it's like, what is a game that you can follow, still get an idea of the players in the game, but without watching hour-long content, without watching 20 hours of live stream content. So I'm just hoping that by checking in, you're checking in these very interesting players, the production behind this very hopefully interesting game, and this very unique take on supplying content throughout the week. So that's why I'm hoping you can check it out and hopefully enjoy it too.
And where are we checking it out at?
We're checking it out on YouTube on our Prometheus web series page. We also will be supplying extra links and other little tiny tidbits of content on our Facebook page as well, which is also facebook.com/prometheus.webseries.
Very well. Thanks, everyone, for tuning in to catch the introduction of HART. Casey, best of luck with your game, and hopefully those storms will stay away. Aw, you got a little deer mascot going on.
Yeah. It's Hunter. His name is Hunter.
Hunter. Oh, how
Hunter the Heart.
poetic, I guess. All right. Well, folks, thanks for tuning in, and good luck, like I said, Casey. And we'll catch you all later for maybe some recaps or reunions after the game. So, till later.
Thanks.